to make this bow with us? Let's get going. First thing you want to do is decide how long you want the tail to be on your bow, and it just kind of depends what you're going to use it on. This one I'm going to be using on a door hanger where I want the tail to be long. So once you decide that, we're going to work on the right side of the bow first, so we'll cut it at an angle to where the longest side runs on the outside of the bow. Okay, so that's nothing too complicated. All right, I am going to take my ribbon here, and once I decided kind of on that length, then I'm going to take and just twist it in my hand. Okay, and we're always twisting it to bring the front of the ribbon back forward. Now I'll bring it back around, and I'm going to decide how big I want these loops, and I don't need them too big. Just about, I think about 4.5 inches. It's up to you how large you want to make them, but it doesn't need to be too big. So you come back to the middle and you scrunch and you twist. As long as you're making another loop, you scrunch. Okay, now I'm back to the center and I scrunch it again. And you can see already, I've started a really pretty simple bow. So if you just wanted a basic bow, you could stop here. We're going to layer up a couple more layers on top of this. So I'm going to keep my ribbon rolling out, and you can always throw the ribbon on the floor when you're making a bunch of bows and you don't want to fight that roll. Just throw it on the floor, and because otherwise it starts to roll away from you. But that's okay. We're going to keep it in control. So I made another twist and another loop, and we're making them each the same size on each side here. Okay? Just kind of stack that up in your hands and let the tails, you've got one tail in the back that you started with, and we've got one in the front. Okay, now we got a tail loop bow. Boom! We're not done yet. I'm going to go ahead and make a cut because I want 2 long tails in the back. So we're going to do that easily here. You got to hold onto it while you're doing all this. But you got it, guys, and cut that also. Oh, I cut that one the wrong way. We want it to be this way. Boom. So it's longer on the one side. All right, so we got the back of our bow started. Now, I just want to have another little layer in the front of a smaller loop that can go with shorter tails to kind of complement these. So what you're going to do is bring it in and decide how long you want that tail to be. And we can come back and cut that tail after we get it all put together. So I want it to be about halfway down. So I'm going to scrunch that up, and then I'm going to twist it because I want to have a little smaller loop here. About 1 inch shorter, just a little bit shorter. Scrunch that up. Twist that one more time and bring that in. And I've got these smaller loops in the center. They're a little bit short. Isn't that precious? So super cute. Okay, don't worry about cutting this yet. We'll cut it in just a second. I'm going to come back in with my cable tie. And we are going to go right through the center and get some tension on there, okay? So it's going to hold it. All right, not super tight, but enough to hold those loops in place. Now let me go ahead and cut this tail. All right. Now, the magic has to happen now before you go ahead and tighten it all the way. You see, I have to straighten it up. And we just call this fluffing. We're fluffing it up, getting everything in its own spot. And basically, I want the 2 longer tails to get divided by the shorter tail. If you wanted this a little more stacked, just tuck them under. Okay, if you don't want them quite so spread out, tuck them under. You see how quickly you can go wide or more narrow? You are in control of how your finished bow will look. All right, that easy part's done. Now flip this over, and we're going to add a cable tie in the back here because I'm adding this to a door hanger, so I want to be able to just tie this right onto it. Okay, right there between my fingers, it's in. Now get that nice and tight. I'm going to use some wire cutters just because I don't want to use my good scissors to cut the cable ties. Now you can use, guys, pipe cleaners. You can use a wire in there. The reason I switched to cable ties a long time ago is because they can hold that bow super tight and they can handle a lot more layers if necessary. Hopefully that makes sense. Now we've got to cover up the little cable tie in the middle. So I'm going to cut about a 6 to 8 inch strip. It doesn't need to be too long here because we're going through just a small little bow here. I just fold it on itself to get a tight little strip. You can even cut that into multiple pieces, but this way you get a nice polished finished center. Come on in, put that little knot in, and then boom, shakalaka, trim these little tails off. And let me show you how cute this simple bow came out with the long tails. You guys, and you can even dovetail the tails and cut them at little chevrons if you want. to do that, you just take and fold them, and then you cut down at an angle, and you can do that to every tip of the tails, whatever you want to do. Either way is gorgeous. Or sometimes I just leave them angled, and then I roll them up and curl them like this, and let that curl just fall out like a pretty little ringlet. Ah, super cute. Bloomerinos, thanks for making this bow with us. I hope you're ready to tackle your first hand bow and give it a try. It's not as intimidating as you think. And if you'll just start off with some smaller 1.5 inch wide ribbon, it's great to start with and not so difficult to manage with your hands. And you can even start with less layers if you want, and just put 1 or 2 layers in there when you get started. But this is just a fun neutral bow you guys can use on any project. You know, we're putting it on a door hanger, but make sure you're liking, subscribing, and following us wherever you are. Please hit that bell icon to follow us on YouTube. We would love for you to get notifications anytime we go live. And of course, the best way to control notifications is to get on our text list at 832-734-5201. Text us VIP because you are a VIP, and we can't wait for you to become an official Bloomerino.